I'm not going to bury the lead here. Notion has just released a suite of website publishing tools that now puts Notion squarely in competition with the Webflows and Framers and Wixes and WordPresses and other website builders of the world. For example, here is a website that I built in Notion, which you can actually go to at www.thomasthefrankengine.com. Yes, I did buy that domain a long time ago after a kindergartner mailed me a picture of me as a train. Cute. So this is a website I built, and as you can see, it's definitely built in Notion, but we have some new stuff that we get to actually look at here. We have a title on the top, and we have horizontal navigation showing the pages in my website. If I go down here, you can see this is a pretty faithful recreation of my personal website, which has been running on WordPress for many years. I even have an email subscribe box so people can sign up for my ConvertKit newsletter. We have a templates page, which has multiple columns. We have a blog page with multiple different sections and even a contact form. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of the brand new features that Notion just launched under this umbrella of Notion Sites. It's a whole bunch of features that allow you to turn public Notion pages into full-fledged websites. And all the way back in 2018, when I first started using Notion and I discovered the ability to make a Notion page public so you could share the web page with anybody who wasn't even logged into Notion, I had this thought. Notion could be a website publishing tool. And it seems that the folks at Notion have had that exact same thought kicking around in their craniums, because now we have a set of tools that actually allows us to publish websites, hook up custom domains, and do a whole lot more. So I'm going to switch over to Notion and show you the page that I built. A little bit later in the video, I'm going to go to a copy of this page that isn't yet public. I'm going to show you exactly how you can get it online. And then a little bit later, I want to talk about the cost of this feature, who I think this is for, how it stacks up against the competition and some alternatives. And I want to at least provide a little bit of constructive criticism, because while I think this set of features is really, really cool, there are definitely some areas for improvement that I would like to see Notion address in the coming months. So to start this off, here is my page inside of Notion. If I hit my good old command / I can open the sidebar, and you can see this is just a Notion page. Now, I did make myself this little fancy wave graphic in Photoshop. This is just a rectangle with the wave distortion filter thrown on it to get my nice little wave like that. Otherwise, it's just a normal cover image. And then I've got what I've built in Notion many times before. I've got a multi-column section here. I've got some buttons. I've got some images. I have a database view on this page. And this creates what is essentially a functional web page. Now, next week, I'm planning on releasing a full tutorial showing you how to build this example website completely from scratch with multiple pages. Like I said, we have an About Me page, we have a templates page. So keep your eyes peeled for that coming up in the near future. But what I want to cover for now are the new features that Notion has actually launched as part of this Notion Sites launch. And where that starts is right up here in the Share tab, which when I click, you can see we've got a little bit of different UI going on here in the Publish tab. So like before, we have our search engine indexing, we have our link expiration, but we also have this site customization button. And when we click it, we see something that we have never seen before. We now have a preview of what the website is going to look like to public visitors in the browser and how it differs from an internal Notion page. We also have a whole bunch of options over here that we can customize. So we can upload a share preview, which is what's going to show up on either Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, wherever you're sharing your site. We have themes here, so we can let people use their default system theme, but we can also explicitly set light or dark mode. And I think for this site, light mode definitely looks better. We can set a little favicon, which is that little icon that is up in your browser tab on each tab in your browser. And we can also add Google Analytics if you want to do more hardcore tracking about visits and geographic data and all that kind of stuff. All you need to do is add in a measurement ID. I may cover that in my upcoming full build guide. And then most interestingly, I think we have these header options here. When we go into our header options, we have quite a few things we can do. So I want to focus on this navigation section first, because this actually allows you to add additional pages that are sort of under this homepage and show them in the top navigation here. So I've got About Me, I've got templates, etc. They're all going to show right up in the top and allow people to easily navigate my site when they hit it. We also have a few different toggles here. So if we want to, we can turn off the breadcrumbs. Now, this is one of my criticisms I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I wish we could put a logo here or at least a link back to home without using breadcrumbs, but we can at least turn them off if we want to. We can turn on or off search. We can let this be duplicated as a template. And if you want to check out my Notion templates, you'll find them over at thomasjfrank.com/templates. We've got task managers, note-taking templates, all kinds of good stuff. And if you have a custom domain attached to your Notion site, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, you can actually turn off this Notion watermark. If you don't have a custom domain attached, it's going to be on and you won't be able to change it. You'll just have built with Notion up here in the top right corner. But if you, like me, do have a custom domain attached, then you can turn it off. And this just gives you quite a bit of flexibility in customizing the design of your site. Now, do I wish there was a bit more flexibility? Yes, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but this is a huge step in the right direction for turning Notion into a legitimate web publishing platform, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and publish these changes. I don't think there are any changes. And now I want to show you how to actually take a page that isn't already online and get it online using this new suite of features. So I've got a brand new testing copy of this personal website recreation here. And if I want to put this online, all I need to do is go up to share, go to publish. And now if I haven't already published it, you see this sort of brand new image here and this sort of refreshed UI. So if I hit publish, now it's online. I've got the website URL right here. I can copy the site link. And if I want to, I can even go to it in my browser, hit enter, and there it is, online in under 30 seconds. And I think this is one of the coolest things about Notion as a website publishing platform. You have a lot of flexibility in page layout, maybe not as much as you have with like a Webflow or a Framer, but certainly a lot more than like a link in bio site. And with a couple of clicks, you're online and you can share the link almost instantaneously. I think that's kind of a game changer, especially for a lot of people who aren't as technically minded and who haven't spent a lot of time building websites and publishing them like I have. So once I've done that, we can of course go into our site customization and we can start building out our header. Because I just put this online, I don't have those pages up in my header. So if I want to add them, I can go to my header area, I can go to add page, and I can see any of the pages that are, again, within this page. And I want to demonstrate that visually real quick here. So I'm gonna hit cancel and I'm gonna find this page in my sidebar. In fact, I think I'm just gonna favorite it so it's right there in the sidebar. So I'll be able to add any of the pages that are underneath this page in the sidebar, or likewise underneath any of these pages in the sidebar. For instance, the blog here is an actual database, so anything within that blog database will be an option as well. What I can't do is say, add a page that is elsewhere in my Notion workspace, even if it is public. So for the purposes of building your navigation, you do want to make sure that any pages you want people to visit are underneath this homepage. So going back to my site settings, I'm going to go to my site customization, head over to header and find a few pages that I want to have up in that bar. We'll find my templates page. I know I want to have my blog page. And then I believe there's also an about me page as well, and a contact page. So just like that, I've built myself header navigation. I can easily reorder these if I want to, and I think that's the order that I want. And then here is what I was talking about. Because I haven't hooked up a custom domain to this page, I can't turn off this watermark, but I can turn off all these other options and essentially recreate the website settings that I had earlier in my demo website that I showed you. So if I publish these, now this is online, I can easily view the site and we'll see those changes pretty much instantaneously. And that's another really cool thing. You can make a change and it is live in pretty much just a couple of seconds. So with that, I want to talk about custom domains for a second. If I go back up here to the share option and I go to publish, I can see that this is currently the domain for this page, thomasexperimental.notion.site. If I have other domains that are hooked up to this Notion workspace, I'll be able to actually choose from them in this little drop down here. And here you can see I do have a custom domain attached here. I'm not going to choose it because I already have it set for the non-testing version of this page. But if I wanted to make this page, the home page for this domain, I could do that. And going to this manage all domains option here, the last option we have in the list, we can now see that we have this sites area inside of settings and members, which we've had for a while, but you can also see that there are custom domains that can be listed here alongside our Notion.site domains. So basically this domains area allows you to manage all the different domains, both Notion.site subdomains and custom domains that are attached to this workspace, and you can set a home page for each. So for this domain, if you just go to this domain right here without putting anything after the trailing slash, you're going to get to this specific page in my Notion workspace. Likewise, if you go to this custom domain, you're going to go to this page, which is the one I showed you at the beginning of this video. Of course, we can also publish as many other pages as we want. There are a ton of pages here that I've published live to the web. They're just not going to be what I get to if I go directly to this domain with nothing else there. And at this point, I want to talk about the pricing of these features because I have some thoughts and there's a bit of complexity complexity to it. So to make things simple, if you're on a free Notion plan, you're not really going to have access to a whole lot of this. You can publish pages to the internet like I've shown right here, and you can do that as much as you want. So even if you're on a free plan, making a website with Notion is super easy. And in a pinch, you could always redirect a domain that you own to a Notion site. Yes, it's not going to keep that domain in the browser's bar there, but if you had, say, I don't know, thomasjfrank.com and you're a broke college student and you need to just point it to somewhere, you could build a redirect without having to pay anything extra. But to get access to all the stuff I've shown you in this video, the site customization options, the menu customization, the SEO features, you will have to be at least on the Notion Plus plan, which is $8 a month if you pay annually and $10 a month if you pay monthly. At least here in the US, I haven't checked all the global pricing. Oh, hey there, Future Tom here. And as you can see, I am currently traveling. So when I shot this video a couple of days ago, nothing had changed regarding Notion's pricing, but today they announced that the Plus plan is now changing from $8 a month if you pay annually to $10 a month if you pay annually, and from $10 a month if you pay monthly to $12 a month if you pay monthly. So sorry about the confusion there. I did not know about this pricing change until literally just now, but I wanted to make sure you are informed. So wherever I mention that old pricing in the video, just know that it's a couple of bucks more now going forward. And then on top of that, if you want to have a custom domain like I've shown right here, you have to pay another $8 a month annually or $10 a month monthly for a custom domain add-on. Now, when I first heard about that as a tester, I kind of balked a bit. It seemed a little bit weird to have to pay another $8 a month just to add a custom domain. But I think this is more of an issue of messaging on Notion's part than an issue of bad pricing, because ultimately $16 a month for a custom website with a custom domain that allows you to actually build a blog and gets you online as fast as you can get with Notion is actually pretty in line with a lot of the other options out there. And I'm going to show you some comparisons in just a second here. But I want to kind of go through the rest of these pricing details here. So basically, if you're on the Plus plan or higher, you'll have this notion.site subdomain here that comes default with your workspace. And if you want to, you can go to new domain right here and you can add up to 4 more notion.site subdomains for free within your plan. So you get 5 of those total. And then if you want to add a custom domain, you can add that as an add-on. Right now, because I'm in a testing workspace and this feature hasn't fully launched yet, I can only add 1 custom domain. Once they launch, you're going to be able to add them at the cost again of $8 a month if you pay annually per custom domain. Now, I think the best way to think about this is not that you're paying $8 a month to hook up a custom domain, more that you're paying $8 a month per additional website, as it were, that you're adding to your Notion account. And this is where I kind of want to go into some comparisons with other products. So we're going to establish that building a Notion website with a custom domain is going to cost you about $16 a month. And with that, you do have quite a bit of flexibility here. Like I just showed you, we have multi-column layouts, we have buttons here, we can add images, and I think most interestingly and most usefully, we can create databases which let people build blogs, they can build lists of tools, they can build any sort of CMS functionality they want. You can do extremely easily in Notion. And a little bit later in the video, I want to show you just how easy that is. I think that's actually quite significant in the context of a website building platform, because a lot of platforms either don't give you that functionality at all, or they lock it behind additional tiers of paid plans. So let's go over some comparisons here. And I want to use this section of the video to also just show you some of the other options, because while I think this set of features is really cool and that Notion is a great option for a lot of people who want to build a website now, it's probably not the only option, and it might not be for you, especially if you're budget conscious and you do want a custom domain and you're willing to get your hands dirty in some cases. So first and foremost, let's go over and look at Squarespace. If you want a Squarespace website, and you've probably seen a zillion ads for them on YouTube, you're paying $16 a month. And as far as I can see, there is no free plan. You got to pay $16 a month, and then it goes up from there. They got to pay for all those YouTube ads somehow, right? If we look at Framer, well, now we're starting to see some more attractive pricing here with this mini option. I'm not going to talk too much about the free options of a lot of these plans here. Number one, Notion has a free option as well. And number two, none of them are going to let you have a custom domain. So if you want to have a custom domain website, Framer has a $5 a month plan. And that's one of the cheaper plans I've seen for modern tools. We actually built the Flylighter website in Framer. And I have to say, it's probably the most flexible and easy to use tool I've ever used for getting exactly the design you want. When I say exactly, I mean customizing CMS, customizing colors, all of that stuff. Not as easy as Notion. It still took me quite a while to build this website, but if I had tried to build this in WordPress or coding it, it would have taken me even longer. So with Framer, you could build a site like this for $5, But for $5, what you couldn't do is have this updates page, which is actually driven by a CMS collection, or essentially a blog. If you want that, you're paying $15 a month. Now you get 150 pages with the mini plan that's home and 404, nothing else, and one CMS collection, and then it goes up from there. So $15 per month versus Notion 16, again, pretty comparable. If we look at Webflow and look at their pricing, well, now if you want CMS items, you're paying $23 a month. For $14 a month, Webflow doesn't even give you any CMS items at all. Webflow is pretty dang expensive, and Wix continues the trend of being pretty expensive. If you want to use Wix and you want a custom domain, you're paying $17 a month. The first option I looked up that is mainstream and that is truly better on pricing is WordPress.com. There you get this starter plan, $4 a month when you pay annually, and you get a free domain that you can attach there. And then there's all these other plans as well. Of course, WordPress is likely going to be the cheapest in many cases. WordPress is open source software. They've been building that since I think 2003. So there's no VC funding. There's no crazy tech involved. What you're going to get here is probably going to be pretty bare bones. I don't even know if you can have plugins and themes. It looks like you need to go to the $25 a month plan here to have plugins and themes. As somebody who's worked with open source self-hosted WordPress for many, many years, that seems a little steep to me, but hey, at the very least, you can get online with a custom domain for $4 a month. So I did want to also mention that. And then on the utterly cheapest end of things, if you are okay with coding, you are okay with wrangling with a bit of HTML and CSS yourself, you can actually deploy websites to platforms like Netlify or GitHub Pages for free. In fact, this website, built by my good friend Martin Bamey, who works with me, is on Netlify. And I think he coded this himself. It's a pretty bare bones minimalist website. Doesn't seem to have a blog. I think if he were to do a blog, he would probably just have like a bunch of markdown files that he would build into a blog. Point being, if you're willing to get your hands dirty a little bit, if you're willing to learn how to code, and you are unafraid of a bit of extra technicality in the process, you can build your own website for free. And you can even attach a custom domain to it like Martin has here. So that brings me to my main point here, which is that I think this Notion Sites product is for the kind of person who's looking for a bit more ease of use, who's looking for a bit more speed in getting a web page online, and who is looking for the ability to change things with almost no effort. Like I showed you earlier, we can make a change and it is live in seconds. And when time is money, that often makes a lot of sense. Again, if you're a broke college student and you're just trying to get online, you don't have $16 a month, this might not be the option for you, or maybe you just don't get a custom domain and then it is the option for you. But if you're like building an internal website for your company, or you need to get a personal website for interviews, or you want to try to get clients, or you want to sell Notion templates, this is honestly kind of awesome. And you can even build a blog. You can do all kinds of stuff here. In fact, I want to show you just how easy it is to get CMS functionality in Notion. If you're still watching this, you are probably in for the long haul for the rest of this video. So we're just going to go into demonstrations here. I wanted to show this because, again, looking at all those other platforms there, even the WordPresses and Webflows and even Framers of the world, dealing with CMSs is kind of a pain. Trying to get that updates page on the Flylighter site took me reading some tutorials, took me having to actually dig through documentation to get this fairly simple looking thing to actually work. And I can click on it and it works as a blog, but look what I can do in Notion. If I want to have a blog, let's just make another page called blog 2 and open it up as a full page. I can come down here, I can type database inline. I'll call this blog 2. And let's call our first post llama training tips. You know how we roll. Cool. Now we can go back to our little testing site. We can go to our site settings. Let's go to our site customization, go to header and add blog 2. There it is. Publish our changes, view our site. That is how fast you can create a blog with Notion. Another little demonstration I wanted to show because I thought it was actually really cool when I got it to work. Say I have a static page like I have right here. So I've got this templates page. This is just blocks on a page with multi-column layouts going on. What if I wanted to create a database of my Notion templates so I could sort them, so I could show like a featured section of templates on my homepage? how would I take this content right here and turn it into a blog without a ton of extra manual work? I'm going to show you how you can do that. Again, it's super easy. So first, I'm going to get rid of my multiple columns by taking this Ultimate Books template and putting it underneath Ultimate Brain. I'm going to do the same thing for Expense Tracker. And while I'm talking, I would also like to tease a little bit that yes, I have a brand new template coming out very soon called Ultimate Books, along with a really cool automation for scanning book barcodes and getting them into Notion. Super excited about that. But that is not what we're here to talk about right now. So I have a single column now with my images and my templates listed here. I'm going to go to the beginning line of each of these little headers here, and I'm going to put a little right pointing bracket and a space to put all that content in a toggle. I'm going to do that for all of these templates here. Let's also go ahead and get rid of this horizontal line just like that. And now I've got my toggles. If I come down from this little text block here, I create myself a database. We'll call this templates, and get rid of the first 3 blank lines. If I want to, I can just select my toggles. I can drag them into my database, and just like that, I have a templates database. Super duper cool. If I go into here, you're going to actually see the content from the inside of that toggle in the database page. And if I want to, I could say, come back to my home page and make myself a templates section. So here I've got featured articles. Why don't we create ourselves another horizontal rule, create a heading 2, and let's just say featured templates. Scroll down so I have a little bit of space to work. I'm going to type /gallery to create ourselves a gallery view, find that templates database, new gallery view, and then I'm going to set my card preview to the page content since the image is inside that content. I'm going to go ahead and wrap all my properties. I'm going to set this from center peak to full page because I'm trying to build a website experience here, not a Notionified experience, and hit done. And just like that, I've taken a static page full of a whole bunch of little pieces of content and turned that into a CMS collection that is now live on the internet. That is so cool. And if I want to, I can take this a step further. So maybe I want to actually see those template descriptions as well as the get template link here, link on this database entry. I can come in here. I can easily create myself a text property, call it description, just like that. And we can go grab our template description, copy it to our clipboard, throw it in here. Maybe I shift enter from the end of this description line to get this little button or buy link on its own. And then if I come back to my gallery view that I was at, I can go ahead and show that description property. And if I did that for all 4 of these, which I'll do with the magic of editing right now, we get this really nice looking CMS collection. And because it is a CMS collection, which is just a fancy term for a database that shows me all of its entries, we can do all of our fancy filtering and sorting. Maybe I want to make this an actual featured template section instead of showing all of my templates. Well, if I go into one of my templates, you can see we've got a tags property, and I've got premium, builder, buy, or free. Maybe I just want to show the premium ones here, so I can easily add myself a filter for premium and nothing else. Go ahead and sort that in, say, alphabetical order, and there we are. If we go back to our website on the internet, it's going to update with all our changes. And now we've got a featured template section, super duper quick to make. In fact, over on my actual personal website, which is built in WordPress, I still haven't done this because creating a CMS collection like that in Elementor, which is what I use to build this, is not easy. This isn't actually a CMS collection. It's just a bunch of blocks on the page. I had to place them all manually. And if I have another item I want to put on there, I'm going to have to reposition everything. It's not a CMS. And if I want to transfer it into a CMS, I would have to, again, go through a whole bunch of documentation, learn all the complexities of WordPress and Elementor, and I just haven't done it because I'm busy. I've got other things going on. So this is really why I am excited personally about the fact that Notion is pushing further into website publishing, because the general set of tools they've given us, especially around, if I go to my actual little testing copy, especially around creating databases and showing them off however you want very quickly, lends itself to allowing people a lot more flexibility, a lot more speed in getting stuff online. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I do have some nitpicks and some areas of improvement that I want Notion to focus on, and that's what I want to talk about at this point in the video. I do want to acknowledge up front that this feature just launched, and I'm sure they're going to be fast following with a lot of improvements, but I still want to talk about what we have at launch today and how it could be improved. So let's switch over to Notion itself, and I want to talk a little bit about some of my nitpicks. Nitpick number 1. If I go up here to my site customization area, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, in my header, I should be able to add a logo for my website, and that should basically never change as I navigate my website. Now, I'm not asking for crazy drop-down menus and super advanced navigation just yet, I will ask for that in the future, but the fact that this is just normal Notion breadcrumbs, and especially the fact that when I find myself at, say, a blog post, if I go to a blog post here, and let me see if I can find one with breadcrumbs here. If I go to a blog post, I now have to navigate these breadcrumbs. And most annoyingly, if I go to blog here, this is going to take me to the actual parent database of all my blog posts. And then I have to go one page up to get to my actual blog page. So I would love to see a logo feature here instead of just breadcrumbs. Nitpick number 2, and I'm guessing this one might be fixed as you're watching this video, but right now, this stuff up here in the menu does not show on mobile. So there's definitely some improvement that needs to be made on the way these pages display on mobile. Page content is great. It's really responsive, but this right here needs a little bit of tender love and care. Speaking of these menu items, I would love to be able to show just the menu items in the header and not have to hide them on the page. Currently, the way I'm dealing with this is I have a little site navigation toggle and I hide all the pages in there. But again, if I'm building a website, the only links I really need to have to my core pages are going to be at the top right there. And I'm sensing a theme here. Actually, a lot of my nitpicks have to do with this navigation feature. Another thing I would love to be able to do is actually create aliases for these pages. So for instance, maybe I want to have this homepage here, which is currently called Hi, I'm Thomas Frank, up in the navigation. I wouldn't really want to have it called Hi, I'm Thomas Frank. I would rather just call it home, and that's what we could do with an alias feature. A couple more nitpicks. Right now, I have found the process of adding a custom domain to be kind of confusing, so I would love to see Notion at least improve the documentation and onboarding they have for that process. It's just a little bit confusing right now. I've been dealing with websites for over a decade, and even I got confused. And last but not least, this is more a Notion request than a Notion Sites request, but I would love it if we had the ability to change the width of rows that do not have multiple columns on a page. So what I mean by that is here, I have 2 different columns together. And as you can see, I can actually change the width of those columns. It's being a little laggy right now, but I can change that width. But if I have a singular column right here, I can't change that width. The only thing I can do is go up to my little page options and make this a full width page. But in many cases, full width, especially on a big monitor, is just way, way, way too much. So would love to see the ability to take basically any block in a single column row and customize that width. That's going to be really, really helpful for allowing people to express their creativity and build website experiences that truly do compete with the other players in the space. So that is hopefully a comprehensive look at everything we have available to us in this Notion Sites launch today. If you want to learn Notion from the ground up or improve your mastery of Notion in general, you can always go over to thomasjfrank.com/fundamentals, where you can sign up for my newsletter, and I'll let you know about all new tutorials and templates that I'm launching, including that ultimate books template that is coming very, very soon. I'll also let you know about the full build guide for this personal website example that I built for this video. So if you want to learn how to build a full featured website with multiple pages, custom layouts, buttons, and a blog that you can easily filter and show featured areas of it and all that kind of stuff, I will have that video coming out very, very soon, linked right there when it's available. I also have a little portfolio single page website build guide that I made last year. That's going to be more relevant than ever now, so I'll link to that in the description down below as well. Thanks as always for watching. You can hit me up on Twitter at TomFrankly if you have questions, or in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.